Kickstart Your Coaching Edge podcast, where it's all about getting real around all things coaching.
And what we know for sure is that what got you here won't get you there.
You can't see the spinach in your own teeth.
And finally, hang on, because this one's really deep. Once you realize that you are the traffic, everything makes complete and unadulterated sense. So it's really funny. Jen just gave me this countdown, and normally when we do countdowns, I never know which number she's really on, like when we play rock, paper, scissors, and like 1, 2, 3, go. But I just got fingers pointed at me, so apparently it was time to go. Okay, so where we last left you, we were talking about self-love. And we started to have a conversation about self-love doesn't mean that you coddle yourself all the time. And remember, guys, this is our thoughts on self-love. And what we talked about earlier is you get to define self-love and whatever that means for you. But I feel like sometimes that what some people have defined as self-love, it's almost like giving them excuse to go really soft on themselves. And to me, self-love, I got to tell you, it's that, we talked about self-respect. It's self-confidence. It's the discipline to actually be who I want to be versus, the times where sometimes you feel like you might want to sit on the couch. So again, it's that who you are versus who you want to be and what's really in the way. And for me, this whole thing is it's like, get up, right? Get off the couch. Do the things that make you the person that you really want to be and show up how you really want to show up. And I feel like that's self-love. It's not, be nice to yourself. Eat the cookie and then just like be nice to yourself. If you want to eat the damn cookie, eat the fucking cookie, right? And then be happy that you ate the cookie. And then if you didn't want to eat the cookie, then just don't do it again. So I think that we're getting lost in this culture of serial niceness to ourselves, and it gets in our way. And I think I'm really nice to myself. And I also think that I kick my own ass. So it's what's the balance for you? And you just have to figure out what those things are. What is that balance? Because I love myself. And there's sometimes I do some stupid things. And sometimes I'm like, shit, I shouldn't have done that. But it doesn't make me not love myself. So it all starts like internally. And then Jen, I'm going to let you hop in now because I have some other thoughts that just popped into my head that actually might be a whole good topic for our next podcast.
All right, jot them down.
I am.
So I totally agree with you, Kara. I think that self-love is much more than how do we talk to ourselves, right? So often I'll be like, people will say things like, you just need to take a break. You need to be easy on yourself. You just need to relax. You just need a day off, those kinds of things. And what I think is happening is everybody's talking about self-love so much that it's diluted the message of what it really is. And I think it can give some people an excuse, right? I'm just being kind to myself. I'm being gentle. I used to do this while running, right? Which is kind of funny. So I would run and then I would be like, I deserve to walk the moment it got hard, right? So running is hard. You got to breathe. It's heavy to, depends on how fast you go, but sometimes your legs hurt. Sometimes your breathing hurts. And I found myself getting into this time where I would just be like, you deserve to walk. That to me was taking self-love a little too far. Was that really my goal when I went out for a run? Was to allow myself to just skip out on my goals, to not finish, to quit when things got hard, right? But I disguised it all under the I deserve it. When the reality is I deserve a really good 25-minute workout. There are other times I could relax. There's other times I could consciously choose to do something easy. But I found it an interesting pattern I was getting into that wasn't really the self-love I needed, right? So, and what I mean by that is the relationship, who I am and the way I want to be would be the person who finishes the run and a person who consciously says, I'm going to chill out, do some artwork right now,
Yeah, Jen, because you get to identify that, right? So you're not sitting here, like if I sat here and said, okay, here's all the components for self-love that I think are important, and then said to you, okay, you have to live up to all these components, right? They might not be the same. And it doesn't matter because self-love, right? It's almost like self-definition of self-love, right? What really is that? Because you set yourself up for failure when you when you allow other people's expectations of what self-love is to influence you. That's just ridiculous. Like, why would you do that? It's just setting yourself up for a target that's going to move all the time and that you might not even be bought into.
Yeah. And I think it's really important to ask yourself, right? So last episode we said, define what self-love means to you. And this one we're saying is, where do you use self-love that propels you into the future version of yourself? And where do you use self-love to have you stay stuck? I think that's the real question, right? Because we could fall either way. But when we're motivated or we're making decisions based on fear or punishment or I can't do this, and we disguise that as I'm just taking care of myself, instead of working on the belief of who we are, we sometimes use self-love as a cop-out.
Totally agree.
All right, that's all we got this week.
Bye. Hey, everybody. Thanks for listening to the Kickstart Your Coaching Edge podcast. Craving more in-depth discussions? Check out the Get Real Inner Circle with our no BS in-crowd of coaches.
Join live coaching discussions, breakdowns of coaching calls, and have some fun while you're at it.
You're going to want to go to kickstartyouredge.com/inner circle. It's time to get real.